Go for it.
Take it away, man.
Vikings.
Go for it.
Let's do it. Hey, shout out to everybody who participate in this lovely sport. We here now.
If you on that hit squad, then hit hard. Bogart and take charge. If you got accuracy to beat the QB, then let me see you throw it deep.
Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Purple and Gold for Days in Minnesota. Sorry, man. Go ahead. Take over. You've doing a bang up job. Go ahead.
No. I'm just making sure we don't get too far into it.
All right.
So tomorrow night,
Minnesota Sports Talk and Purple and Gold for Days. Make sure you hit the like button and ring the bell. All right, let's go. Okay, Justin, how's your day? You like the Twins?
Yo, yeah.
All right. A few shout outs. We got
you like that? No, not so much.
Got Davey Chains in the house. What's up, T-Bass?
Uh-oh.
I'm losing you, man. We got Dave in the house. What's up? McAndrews. All right, Skull Mafia, Bob Swedes in the house, Dr. Proto, Six Shooter Nation, Skolden, Mary Fist, Chicken Soup for the Soul. Let's go. All right, I think we have a few things here. What's going on? Probably a good thing the Vikings now they have an excuse. Also, now I wonder if Kirk wants to say his stats are going to suffer. Yeah, I don't think he's ever really cared about his stats, but we're talking about Jay Jetta today. Obviously, up at the top, a little format going on. We'll have as many as 4 topics. We got 2 today. We got a big one, so we're going to spend a lot of time on that. What are you thinking? What are your first thoughts? I lost Justin now. All right. Jay Jetta just got, put on a 4-week IR minimum. What do you guys think of in the chat when that happened? What were your first thoughts? And go ahead, Justin. What were your first thoughts?
Because I had to refresh it again. So what was the question? I beg your pardon. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I was asking you before you got disconnected. What were your first thoughts when you heard about the IR on Justin Jefferson?
I think it's an appropriate move. Justin would have tried to come back after a week or 2 saying, no, coach, I'm fine. I can go out there. I remember when Randy Moss pulled his hamstring and he was very ineffective. If I recall correctly, they put him out there for the first play to maintain his consecutive game streak, and then he didn't do anything. When I first saw the injury, I said, all right, out for Chicago. I don't want him on that garbage field. Out against San Francisco. That team is, the best team and very physical. So I didn't want him to play for at least 2 games. And the fact that they find it necessary to put him on IR for 4, it tells me maybe this injury is a little more serious than initially reported. And maybe it's just a matter of getting a new roster spot available and not having to listen to Justin say he's ready after 1 or 2 weeks. So
100%.
I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it.
100%. The drive yesterday, I stated that I want him out for Chicago. Might as well keep him out for San Francisco and then see from there. But I think it's not like baseball where it's retroactive. So you got to make your choice now, and completely appropriate choice to put him on the IR for four games minimum, right? So you're looking at Bears, San Francisco, Packers, and then Atlanta.
Correct.
I know not many people want to. There's plenty of people that are cool with it, plenty of people that are not. But those are there's 3 out of 4 pretty winnable games there. So I think they probably put that in their decision is that, hey, we can try to win these 3 or 4 games without him. I don't think at any point Kwesi and O'Connell are thinking right now, let's pack it in, right? Coaches are going to want to win. Players are going to want to win. But I think that was probably the decision process or something to that effect. Sound about right?
Well, that's one thought process that can very well be possibly the case. The other is maybe they're just making sure that Justin is healthy, and maybe they say, all right, if we win any of these next 4 games, great. If we don't, oh well. You're right. The players and the coaches are absolutely always on board with full speed ahead, regardless of whether the general manager thinks it might be a better business decision to not. For example, let's just hypothetically say that they lose to Chicago and Tampa Bay and are 1-6. It's not tanking to see what you can get for Danielle Hunter or Harrison Smith or KJ Osborne, all your pending free agents. It's like in baseball where, you got a free agent, you're not going to re-sign. Well, get something for him, even if it's prospects that may or may not work out. So,
yeah, 100.
I don't know that went into their decision making either. It could be either one.
What do you think about who? We know Danielle Hunter and Kirk Cousins have trade clauses, and yes, I've even on the drive 3 weeks ago talked about at the trade deadline, if we're not, or was it 2 weeks ago, that Kirk Cousins would be a prime candidate to trade. However, really difficult because family, God, all that stuff. He may not want to leave, and honestly, I don't think he has a give up on his body. He'd probably want to finish the year in Minnesota. He likes it here. Obviously, he's showing up to Twins game on Tuesdays, so two weeks in a row, or 2 Tuesdays in a row. But those are the 2 guys that are hard to trade. So yes, Danielle Hunter would be another option, but the outside of those 2 guys, what do you think? You got KJ Osborne, and then you finish it up here. What the
Ezra
other
Cleveland.
Players that have value that are in the last year of their contract?
Ezra Cleveland, because then you could just put Dalton Reisner in. That's an obvious one.
And a great time for him to play good, right?
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Finally.
I don't know what you could get for Harrison Smith. Expectations should be 4th round or later. He's not going to garner a 2 or 3, obviously. Shout out Eric. What's going on? Shout out Dr. Proto as well.
I feel like we're cousins.
Say what?
We talked a while back about LaPointe's being in South Dakota, and I went to school with some. So.
Oh, okay.
He says he's probably related to him, so I'm bringing that up. I feel like we're cousins.
Beyond that, I think I agree with your overall assessment between Cousins and Danielle Hunter that Hunter would be more likely to accept a trade.
Probably, I would think, yeah.
I would think. I agree that Kirk, unless there was one heck of an opportunity where...
And one that would garner more years than just half a season.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
That was my point all along, is that if he accepts a trade, it would have to be to a place that he wants to go to, and it has a plan for him to be there, right? That's what I feel. Because he doesn't want to move twice. You know what I'm saying?
No, right. I totally agree with you. And he wouldn't accept the trade otherwise. I think the likelihood of him even accepting any trade is probably about 5 to 10%. And in that 5 to 10%, you got to find a team he wants to go to and a team that's going to give him a 2 to 3 year contract extension, because they would happen simultaneously. He would not let that go through at all.
When you don't give up that leverage of having a no trade clause, you're not giving up the leverage to the Vikings necessarily. You're giving that leverage up to the other team that you're going to. So to get me, you gotta promise me this, and I will sign this, and I will give up my no trade clause. Same thing happens in baseball,
right?
And the guys with no trade clauses. The funny thing in baseball is they'll choose 5 really good teams. with no trade clause, because then if they get traded to the Yankees or they get traded to Boston or they trade, teams with money, that they're teams they expect to be good, because that way they would get a long-term deal or stuff like that. So it's a little weirder in baseball. And football, I haven't heard of a no trade clause to specific teams before. So
no, I don't believe that's part of the CBA. And the other thing too, to your example of baseball, there's no salary cap. So
there is
the whole thing.
There is,
but there,
well,
there's
the
not
thing
an official
is,
one, right?
When you go over a certain salary, and at one point I was like 230 million, that above that you have to actually pay double what you go over. Like if you go over 30 million, you'll have to pay 60 million, and that gets distributed to all the bottom 15 teams. I think that's how that works. But and then those teams don't even use the money. They just keep it as profit half the time.
I mean, what I'm saying is that yes, a team has the option if they want to pay the luxury tax.
Yeah.
In the NFL, they don't even have the option. So
and they only one or two teams actually do it. It's usually the Yankees and the Dodgers. And I think the Yankees haven't done it in a while. But yeah, that's baseball. But football, no trade clause. And it's the bargaining chip. A player would be dumb to give that up. And I think like you said, 15% chance, and that's if he works out a deal with a team that he wants to go to. Atlanta might be a team, right? Because that's where his wife's from. That might be a thing.
Absolutely.
If I'm not mistaken, did he live in his parents' basement or his in-laws' basement when he was for a while there?
I thought it was
it
her
the in-laws?
parents, but I don't remember.
I thought it was. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's a I would think Atlanta would probably make the most sense if they don't believe in if they necessarily have given up on Ritter, or maybe think he needs more seasoning. That would, in a win now situation, probably might make some sense.
Well, if you can indulge me, and hopefully my computer won't blow up by opening, God forbid, a second tab, and I'll look and see how much cap room the Falcons have. And I'm pretty sure they have all of their picks.
You look that up. I'll give some shout outs. Nano Joe, what's up? Chicago players and coaches also want to win. People need to quit thinking Chicago's a cupcake. Yeah, they're not. 8 touchdowns in 2 games, I think. Someone said so. Justin. Yeah, Justin did.
7, which were passing touchdowns, by the way.
So I posted today. I felt like my cat died, but I'm kind of excited about my new dog. That didn't happen. That's a fictional occurrence. That's the way I describe a feeling when a great player goes down. This is the kind of thing that happens to me when something like this happens to the Vikings. I'm excited to see. We didn't know about Thielen until Diggs went down, right? He started his first game and got 100 yards after Diggs goes down. So we don't know what we have in an Addison who could take over the number 1 position. And I agree 100% with Rap. And I told him on his chat, on his comments, that yes, we can't see KJ getting the first, looks. We need Addison getting the first looks because he is the better player.
No question.
Right.
Outside of blocking.
KJ is going to get more opportunities too. I would have loved Naylor to be healthy right now. It would be I
thought about your love fest for Naylor. A guy at work asked me, first he said, don't trade, like the Rams said they were trying to trade one of their wide receivers. I'm like, don't trade for anybody. Don't bring anybody here that's going to cost you anything.
One Barn Lepagus had like 5 guys that they said we could go get. And off practice squad, like Rager, off a practice squad, because he knows the offense. That's one of the 5 guys they talked about. Do we need that? No, we don't need that. He's going to be out 4 games, and we got N'Keal Harry still on the team.
Yeah, and Tristan
he
Jackson.
Dressed, right?
He did dress for one. Well, he was off the practice squad. I don't know if he dressed or if he was a healthy.
Oh, he could have been on the 53. Maybe he didn't dress. Yeah. So
I forget.
Seeing N'Keal Harry play, I would love to see that. Give him an opportunity because he has shown bursts, right?
Right.
And he hasn't played for good quarterbacks as of right now, as far as throwing the ball. So I'm like, and then the injuries, right? So I want to see him healthy, see what he can do. We actually showed we could score in the red zone recently, right?
Right.
So hey, maybe
as long as we're not turning the ball over.
Right. Yeah.
Shout
The
out to
season is
Skull
not looking
Mafia.
good
Shout out-
now that JJ is
Scolded.
out for at least 4 games. Yep, that's the number one topic tonight, man. Shout out to Soup.
What's up,
What's
Mafia?
going on? Hey, in the zones, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Man, we got a lot of people saying hi. It's tough to keep up. I love this community, man. It's everybody come. All
Shout
you
out,
guys
Dave.
on every single chat where I'm looking, and I may not comment, but I'm out there watching. You guys are saying hi to each other all the time. It's like walking into the bar and everybody yelling Norm. So I love it, man. I love it.
Well, that
McAndrew,
was kind of the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, McAndrews. What's up, McAndrews? How you doing?
yeah. Gosh, if you see any that I missed, the first Bears home game since passing Dick Buck is going to be charged up.
Oh, yes,
atmosphere.
I've said that 3 times.
But Grant Dine was charged up atmosphere too, so I don't know how much players that weren't alive when he played, how that affects them. But yeah, the fans definitely will be charged up, right? So
I mean, there'll be a lot of pomp and circumstance, a moment of silence, this, some video of his highlights, that, and I'll say this: the Vikings in 1999 played the Chicago Bears the first game at home after Sweetness Walter Payton died, and they escaped with an overtime victory. So but it's a factor, I do think, a small one, but a factor.
I kind of put it in the fact that in college, do you schedule your homecoming? Do you schedule a tough team for homecoming?
Not necessarily.
Right.
It depends on who the
you usually
team is.
don't, right? You usually try to schedule a pancake because of all the distractions of what's going on that week. You're not gonna schedule USC. I think Notre Dame did shit like that though, where but they played every hard team in the world back in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. So they didn't have a cupcake to actually put on. But yeah, you usually don't schedule your home game with a tough team, right? So yeah, there's a distraction there. It could work both ways. Hopefully it works our way.
Right.
Depending on
Shout
what
out
you
to
feel
Dave,
like.
who's confirmed that it was the in-laws. Shout out Vaughn.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was the parents. So that's why I'm saying Atlanta, to me, makes the most sense. And did you look up their captain?
It was just sitting there again, and I was trying to. Let's try it one more time.
Von Joyner. I love that Hitman logo, man. Love the Hitman logo. Beautiful.
Absolutely. Shout out Skolden in the building.
The only thing
Sodak in the building.
The only thought about Rager coming back on the team is that he knows the offense and he's easy to just let go again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not like, and he knows his way around the playbook, the whole building. Maybe he has friends on the team. I don't know. But we got a pretty good punt returner. I want to keep him. We made the right decision.
No, I totally agree on that. And I managed to get to the site, and when I click on Falcons, it freezes again. So I can't even switch. Can you hear me right now or no?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. It won't let me switch back tabs right now.
Vikings
so I might just
start winning for some miracle. Who or what side of the ball will be the one spark that wins? Jeez.
It'd have to be offense, which sounds ridiculous, but the defense is giving you what it's got. The defense is probably maxed out. It's probably topped out. The offense is not topped out because they keep turning the daggone football over. And, at the end of the day.
It has gradually gotten smaller, though, right?
Yes, it has.
4, 3, 2,
we might
1.
get to a week where we don't have any turnovers,
Dude, and it wouldn't be so bad if we got turnovers ourselves. We got 2.
Right.
Last year, we were one of the least turnover teams in the league. We got a lot of the same players. The one guy on offense that doesn't turn the ball over is Jordan Addison, and he catches everything. So God, you gotta reward that. You know what I'm saying? Don't you think?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I agree with a couple of different commenters that said Jordan Addison, quote unquote, should get more targets, more looks than KJ. But we're talking about Kirk, who's far more comfortable with KJ because he's played with him longer. So, you got to temper
honestly,
your
it looks like him
there.
and Jordan Addison are more on the same page than KJ.
Well, maybe. What's up, JD Brown?
Well, like even the Buccaneers game, he threw high to KJ once, twice, I think. And that route that everybody was bitching about KJ Osborne not turning his head around, that was Kevin O'Connell and Kirk. Kirk took the blame for that because he said, like, I was fast on the progression. But he saw the early window and he just gunned it in there. Yeah, that wasn't
he had a lot of
supposed to go
mustard
like
on that
that.
one, as John Madden would say. That one had a lot of mustard on it.
Yeah,
Shout out real quick to
I know
Sodak.
Twitter went just crazy on that. I look back at all the tweets. I can't tweet during the game when I'm doing PSF. So I'm looking back and people were bitching about KJ not turning his head around or he was scared of the ball. Nah, man, that play was Kirk. He said, hey, I should have probably just threw it to Justin Jefferson in the flat to go one-on-one, whatever. But he saw KJ and he gunned it. It wasn't the right progression. Kevin O'Connell confirmed that. So yeah, that was a miss on Kirk. Overall, pretty good game, except for the 7 drops that our receivers had.
Good
John
to see you
Harbaugh. Hey, we almost signed you, man. Why'd you back out?
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to John. Everybody say hello. I believe this is his first time with either one of us. And let's hit the reset button here. If you didn't hit those like buttons on the way in, go ahead and hit those like buttons, regardless of what channel you're on. If you're not subscribed to both, give us a sub, regardless of if you came in on Purple and Gold for Days or Minnesota Sports Talk. I guess to shout out Scope for Life Barber as well. Y'all supporting the tank or not? They're not tanking, not yet anyway. And I don't think they will, because a tank job would require you to trade Justin Jefferson. Trading anybody else is just taking a step back. Okay, so we got to get our terminology down. If you trade
Hunter, like Purple Daily?
No, I said that long before they did. They just said it 3 days ago. I said that 2 weeks ago. But anyway, my point is that if somehow, some way, which I said again is 5 to 10%, if somehow, some way you traded Kirk and got some assets in return, people would label that as a tank. No, that's getting assets in return for an expiring player who's not going to be re-signed more than likely. So no, a tank job is literally tearing it down to the studs. But regardless,
I would say if we're 3 and 5 at the trade deadline, I think people would and we traded Kirk Cousins, I would consider that a tank, because you're 3 and 5, right? You know,
I find it difficult to.
But I don't. That's what I'm thinking. If they're 3 and 5, they're probably not going full trade on us. We did that. Gosh, there was one year with the Twins where we traded 2 guys and then went off and made the playoffs at the trade deadline. You remember that year?
Oh yeah.
But this
Johan Santana was like, "What are we doing around here? What are we trying to do?" But
like, what Justin Jefferson had 28 yards in this game, and we're a drop pass from a first down, 2 first downs, a drop by TJ, a drop by Madison, and then a PI call. All these things just didn't go our way. Right. We're that close to tying a game without Justin Jefferson. This team does still have weapons, obviously.
Right.
And I want to see Cam Akers play a little bit more. I want to see if that guy could be our lead back next year if we want to re-sign him, kind of thing. We could get him cheap.
Shout out to Skull Mafia. It's not tanking, it's retooling. But I agree with JD Brown 24. It is painful. I said that on my show last night. It's ridiculous that after 5 games, we're already talking about what should we do? Should we continue with the short term? Should we put more eggs in the basket of the long term? So again, if you didn't catch my show last night and you need some extra entertainment, I got a little spicy. I usually only drop some F-bombs if I'm working with Rap or Dave, and take that for what it's worth and however you want to. But I was a little irritated last night. And my problem is that the same problems keep occurring. So that's my shameless plug for a preview. Shout out My Worthless Opinion, greatest single Twitter handle, Facebook handle, YouTube handle, etc., because your opinion is never worthless, especially on these shows. So thanks for showing up. Excuse me. Worthless.
Oops,
all right, what do we got here?
Well, in a little bit, I'm gonna announce to put hashtag Skull. Don't do it. We're giving away the free Justin Jefferson autographed jersey. I already got to 2250 and actually cracked 2300 today, 50 since the game. So that's awesome. Thanks for your support, guys. $2,250. I gave the Adam Thielen pop away. I'm going to give something else at $2,500. So in a little bit, I'm going to now type hashtag skull, and then you'll be entered to win. I'll give 5 entries away. So that's all I got to say about that.
Shout out to Drop Shot Jake. What's going on, Jake? In a building. Everyone should be a sale except TJ, JJ, Addison, Darrisaw. I would probably add O'Neal to that list, but those are the 4 obvious ones. I would probably add Byron Murphy, and despite his mistime jump, Cam Bynum and Ivan Pace. But you're right. Sans those 7 players, the other 46, I'm open for business on. Shout out Tim. I think we got a new one here.
Okay, fire away with hashtag school, guys. It's running.
Foreseeing. Tim Foreseeing? I don't know. But shout out to Tim. Everybody say hello. I believe this is his first time in here. So, Tim, what we do is we do shout outs to people who put something in the comments. And if you're a first timer, we encourage everybody to say hello to you. Just a couple more here, and then we'll get to the next one here. But what up, David? Gill in the building. Thank you so much for joining us as well. The writing is on, well, maybe, but we'll get more into that as we get closer to this Sunday. Thank you, Luft. I saw that, and then we got out of the topic here, but yeah, they got 5.3 million. Now remember, even though Kirk's salary cap number this year is 20 million, 10 of that 20 is signing bonus and the other 10 is salary. So as far as what would the Vikings keep and what would transfer to the new team, you take $1 million and divide, $10 million and divide that by 17, and his per game rough average is 588,000. So there's no way on God's green earth it's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. Okay, so let's just put that out our minds. So hypothetically speaking, best case scenario, that would be 10 games, and that'd be 5.88. So that's close, and they would have to do some restructures for their current players, but it's within tolerance of, hey, could we make this work? And so the answer is, yeah, it could work from that standpoint. Justin Jefferson, Ray, too important to throw the dice on. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Tim. Again, there is no likely scenario that I trade Justin Jefferson for. It would take 4 first-round picks, and no team would do that. So no circumstance do I trade Justin Jefferson.
4 first-round picks?
4.
Okay.
If Arizona, let me put it.
I don't think any would give 4.
That's my point. I said there's no realistic scenario where I would do it, because the scenario where I would is unrealistic.
I would say 2 and 2 ones, and that would be like 2 ones and a few other picks. You know what I'm saying? Would probably be the going rate, but yeah, 3 ones wouldn't go. You don't do that for a receiver.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. All right, we got a whole bunch of hashtag skulls, so I'm not going to put those up there.
Yeah. But hashtag skull, everybody. 5 entries into that contest.
We got anything else here? But, Justin, you mean you would be willing to trade CM?
Well, you got to think Davenport is pretty much anybody in the last year of a contract.
Yes,
I think is
exactly. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, my cornerstones, and TJ's not one of them right now. He's in my doghouse. But yeah, the whole idea you can't afford Kirk. Well, you can't afford him for sure because you just signed TJ, who's dropping the ball all the time.
Yeah, TJ Hawkinson will be here for at least the next season or 2, because after 2 seasons, you can get out of that contract with relatively low debt.
I mean,
money,
I still like that we have him, and God, and O'Connell's like, you know what? We have to get him in space now. We can't rely on him. He does not have hands like Rudolph had.
Yeah, you made that point yesterday. I'll give you that one for sure. Shout out Mike Sports Vibe in the building. What's going on? Good.
Someone countered with that he's not as fast as TJ.
Well, there's that.
That's because he got his hamstring pulled off the bone his senior year of college.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's 6 of one and half dozen of the other. Shout out to Christopher in the building. I've been saying since week 3 we need to call it. That would be too early for me. I'm almost at that point now, particularly if we find a way to
week 3
Chicago. Well, that's what Christopher
we would have been
said.
We would have been 0-3, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
After, I could see anybody. I didn't blame anybody for going, oh my God, the season, playoffs are really tough. They're not an impossibility, but I'm like, I couldn't blame anybody right now 1-4. But I counted KC as a loss. I thought, okay, play good at least. Give me hope. We did. And then I'm like, okay, Bears, Packers, and then you're looking at, San Francisco's lost, Bears, Packers, you're 3-5. Let's go beat Atlanta, you're 4-5. And then I feel like season's reset. You know what I'm saying? But all these games are gonna be tough. So
No, again, you
try
can
your
say,
hardest, prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
And you make business decisions at the trade deadline of whether or not you think you're in it still.
I'll say this to your point about playing Kansas City close, giving you hope. My problem is that hope at best brings me back to even when you lose to Tampa Bay and the Chargers. You are now what, 0-3 on your home field, looking at 0-4 with San Francisco. So to your point, and some points, the same points have been made by others, so it's not just you. We got a lot of road games coming up. We got a lot of, because number one, we had 9 road games because we had the extra home game last year. And we also had one of our road games was in London, which was a good thing. But we got a lot of road games coming up. We've gone to Philly, and is this our second road game this weekend? Have we gone on the road anywhere else? Oh, yeah, Carolina. I beg your pardon. So, I get your point, but
that's why it reminds me a lot of 2020 because we lost at home a lot. No fans in the stands.
Yeah, they started out 1-5, and they finished 6-4.
1-5.
Yes, it was 1-5 before their bye week. The game after their bye.
I remember
week,
1-3. I didn't remember 1-5.
Oh, it was 1-5. Trust me, because they went 6-4 after the bye week, which that's how they got to 7-9. But again, do we want to get to 7 wins to miss the playoffs anyway? I got to call you out for something you said yesterday. And it's, I've called you on it before, so we don't need to get too much in the discussion. But when you're going to reference 1987 and getting to the NFC Championship game, well, we were 8-7 that year. 3 of those losses were scab players. So we were 8-4 with our team.
We lost to a really terrible Packers team.
Say again?
I believe we lost to a real terrible Packers team.
I don't remember the wins and losses. I just remember.
Yeah, well, I do. 8-7. 8-7, 3 scab teams. So we're 8-4.
Right, 8-4.
We're 8-4, and we guaranteed we would have won those other 3 games.
No, it's not guaranteed, but I'm just saying.
Why would you have a problem with that? 8-7.
Okay, what I'm saying.
You've always said, why sneak into the playoffs if we're just going to lose anyways, right? Well, we snaked in the playoffs.
40 years ago.
And we had to play 3 road games.
It was 40 years ago. The league's a little different where you only had
I bring up the Cardinals going in 9-7, the Packers going in 9-7, both making the Super Bowl. There's other teams that done it. I just use that as our reference of the Vikings. 8-7 with our backup quarterback.
Just because it happened.
Tommy Kramer started 5 games that year. Wade Wilson finished out the season.
Off. They went back and forth. I want to give Anthony his comment here. The Broncos are probably going to be sellers at the trade deadline. It would be great to get Patrick Surtain Jr. Yeah, I would go for that, but I don't know how much that would cost you as far as draft compensation, because that dude is real deal. So, yes, would I love Patrick Surtain Jr.? Absolutely. What we'd have to give up for him, though, might be too much. But the idea and the suggestion is a good one. And maybe you could get him on the cheap because Denver's just trying to unload players. But I'd have to see it to believe it. But would I do that deal? Oh, absolutely. In a heartbeat.
What's the deal? Patrick Surtain Jr. Yeah, I couldn't read it. Sorry.
Yeah, Patrick Surtain Jr. Broncos going to be sell. Wait. Oh, that's the same one. Do I like Drake May, Vaughn? Yeah, I do. To me, other than Caleb Williams, like if I had hypothetically, if I had my choice, I would take Caleb Williams. But other than that, I would take Dre May. Absolutely, I would. And not just because he destroyed the Gophers. He's destroying everybody that on their schedule right now. Some people think that, he reminds them of Kirk because he takes the safe play. but at the same time, he's also got scrambling ability. And again, he's not a running quarterback per se, but he's got scrambling. He can get out of the pocket and make throws on the run. So to answer your question, Vaughn, I absolutely would. Most definitely. More skulls, more skulls. Love to saying the same thing I just did. I hadn't seen the comment when I said that. So anyway, I could see us getting mollywopped without JJ. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Shout out to Two-Tone Tony in the building. What's going on? I'm trying to get through these so that we don't have 50.
Someone made a pretty good point today. It's been a while since we haven't had a Diggs, a Thielen, or a Justin Jefferson catching a pass in the game.
Yeah. If this was next year and Addison was already established, you could say him as the next guy. But no, you're right. And by the way, to your point earlier about Adam Thielen only getting a shot after Diggs, you're right. But is that more a product of Mike Zimmer than anything else? I mean, we've both said that Thielen kind of got screwed out of his first couple of years by Zimmer. So, but your point is well seen. I agree with you about Jalen Naylor. I wish he was healthy because I'd love to see him as the number 3 wide receiver right now. But having said that, do we have anything else on Jay Jetta that we want to discuss here since we've only got 20 minutes left to get to our second theme, which is the Bears? Or what are you thinking, boss?
I mean, we can talk we can talk about anything, and the Bears is not a what do we talk about the Bears? It's like I put that up there. I mean, I don't think that everybody's in the mood talking about us beating the Bears, but I think it's a worthy discussion. I think it's a possibility, and I think it's like I said when I said my cat dying. I don't have a cat, by the way.
You don't seem like a cat guy to me.
If my cat dies, I'm kind of excited about the new dog I'm gonna get. Right. So I'm looking at giving Cam Akers some more touches. I'm talking about put Ty Chandler in there and give him 5 touches. I'm talking about KJ Osborne. Hey, step up. You didn't do it 2 years ago, right? When you were given the outside receiver spot, you were given the number 2 spot because of injury. You didn't step up. Let's see if he can do it now, and hopefully he does do good. And if we get to the trade deadline and we're 2-6 or 1-7 or whatever, that we go, okay, someone wants KJ Osborne, let's get something for him.
I think you should do that no matter what your record is, because he's not coming back next year. We all know that.
Well, I mean,
he's going to want more than we can offer.
That would be a decent move too. But obviously, if we're 4-4, I'm not going to go, let's trade all our receivers. So I would think twice about trading a guy for 4-4. Obviously, that's going to be hard to do, right? So, but yeah, I'm just saying at trade deadline, if you're 3-5, 4-4, you might not trade your second, what you consider your second receiver. But yeah, Jordan Addison, Rapp was talking about that 100%. Get this guy on the field every single play. Don't give me that crap about, he's not a good enough blocker. I mean, I've seen Justin Jefferson. I've seen Justin Jefferson whiff on blocks too. So we're going to bench his ass? No, I don't think so.
I think the point is that
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking that.
No, I know. That. I know. I'm saying that Jordan Addison's block might have been more costly, being that Jefferson got lit up. But having said that, let me get a couple in here. We got JJ Vikings in the building.
Cleveland whiffed on Chris Jones. It's like
there's that. Shout out. What's going on, Rap? Good to see you. Well, here. Speaking of that, Kevin O'Connell says if we don't stop turning the ball over, I'm gonna start benching people. Well, why the hell was Oliver not benched after the fumble on the first dang play of the game? So somebody explain that to me. That sounds like a parent that says, if you do this one more time, I'm taking away your iPad or I'm taking away your phone. And then they do it 5 more times. You ain't taking nothing away. So what are your thoughts on that? I mean,
yeah, I felt like it was a coach motivating through the media. And you see that. And I thought it was actually pretty good that he did that. Mm-hmm. He didn't sit Madison, he didn't. I mean, you're gonna sit a guy that you signed to be a blocker. It's like, yeah, it was disappointing. He was reaching the cover, but he reached too late. You know, he reached
and
way
again,
too late.
Just to be clear, that fumble, I mean, the guy's
It was helmet
hit
on the ball.
Right. So, but I think if the team hadn't already turned the ball over, what, 12 times?
I'm running down like this after I catch it.
Right.
Especially the first play of the game.
No, I think again, it's the systemic issue with this team right now of lack of preparation, lack of discipline. That when Oliver's the latest in a long line, okay, great, you know. So I said that on my preview video to the Kansas City game. If after the first game we turned it over 3 times, if you had 1 or 2 turnovers in the next 4 games, you could say, okay, you know, we fixed this problem. But they haven't fixed that problem. They bought all those pokers from Amazon. What the hell good did that do? I know. Each week we're going down. We went from 4 to 3 to 2,
well,
and then to 1.
Bears will be 0.
Yeah,
Bears will be 0. But hey, if we also took the ball away from the other offense, that'd be nice too.
Yeah, I mean we did have a defensive touchdown, which, you know, that's not just any old turnover. But I get your point. We need more now. Who have we faced? Well, we faced Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, who both rarely turn the ball over. We got 1 off of Bryce Young. Or did we get 2 turnovers that game? I know we got the strip sack return for a touchdown, but I don't think did we have
1.
2? Okay,
we got 1.
So I get your point, and
we almost got a set. We almost got 1 with our safety punched it out of the receiver's hands.
Oh yeah,
and he bounced right back up into his hands again. Cameron Bynum.
There you go.
He
KJ hasn't been himself this year. Addison the Beast. Yeah, Tim, I agree with you. I said it 3 weeks ago. KJ Osborne's just a guy, and he's a solid number 3 wide receiver. It's kind of like
has flashes. You know that touchdown he had? That was amazing. That was only 1 catch. He had 1 catch that game.
Which game?
It was the Chargers. Remember he had that.
Oh yeah.
Kirk hit him tight window, and he got it. Ran down the sideline, dived for the touchdown. That was a great play. That was great. You know, it was a great athletic play. But you know, that was 1 catch the entire game, and I mean, it was a first down that bounced off his chest in the first half, I think, early in the game, and he's just like, oh, not again. You know, bounce right off your chest.
Right. So
and then he had to double clutch another catch for a first down.
Yeah. Again, here's what I'm saying about KJ. And first off, shout out to Dave that he's in year 3 of his rookie contract, so he would still have a full year on his rookie next year plus the fifth year option. Thank you for that, Dave. And oh, by the way, shout out to Vikings fan 123. We appreciate y'all coming by. Hit them like buttons.
And that's a good point by talking about. Yeah, we can make trades to get pieces for next year too, right? We can get guys that have value for us, you know, next year. It doesn't have to be, let's just get rid of everybody, you know, and lose, but getting pieces also. I mean, the Bears did that last year where they went and got it wasn't very good, Claypool, but you know, there are teams that do that to be thinking about next year in the future.
I'm more interested.
Doesn't help your tanking prospects at all. But.
Well, yeah, no, but at the same time,
or what'd you call it now?
A step back.
A step back.
Yes. Again, all I'm saying is that let's say only move. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying if the only move the Vikings made was to trade Danielle Hunter. Oh, they're tanking because they got rid of Danielle Hunter. That's not tanking. We
traded that. What was that? Mbakwe, or what was his name? We traded
Yannick Ngakoue.
We had a better record. We had what was our record when we did that? Was it
1-5? That's how I knew, because that's what he was. He was 1-5 with us.
Smart move, right?
Yeah. Well, smart move as it was.
We got a third back. Well, we traded first and got a second back.
We got a fourth, I believe.
I think we got 1 step back. I remember being like 1 step back and thinking, okay, all right, we wasted a pick, but we got something back that was halfway decent. That's the one thing with Spielman. He got value back for his trades, you know.
Tim says never say things can't get. Well, you got a point, Tim. You might.
I've said that like 3 times, and they got worse, man. It got worse.
Zone doesn't think your 4-4 can happen, but I will digress. Shout
Well,
out,
I mean,
real quick. Shout out Greg in the
I also
building.
qualified that as me also agreeing that that's probably not going to happen.
I guess we can close out that topic by saying this. This time next week, we'll know, because we will have either beaten the Bears or we'll have lost to the Bears. Okay, or tied, whatever. If you beat the Bears, regardless, you're not beating the San Francisco 49ers. I know, any given Sunday, and maybe they have an off day. And we said the same thing about Patrick Mahomes last week. Maybe they get an off day and maybe we play a perfect game. Let's just call San Francisco a loss. So if you lose to Chicago and are 1-6, that changes the whole. You ain't getting 4-4 at that point. But having.
Oh no, I mean, I'm still thinking, the 3-5 before the trade deadline is the best we could do, in my opinion. But yeah, especially with losing Jefferson. But again, right. I'm like, I want to see what the other guys could do. Put Booth in there. He had the highest PFF grade of any corner we had this last game. It was only 11 snaps, but Murphy's not impressing me. Evans is not impressing me. Right?
I'm a little disappointed in Byron Murphy, but I'm not that.
Well, I'm not like get rid of him. I'm just saying he's not a number one.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I thought he would be, and I am
That's
wrong.
what I'm saying. He's a good 2, just like KJ Osborne's a good 3. You have to know that what your role is. And coaches need to know, okay, we got a really good number 3 wide receiver. Can he be a decent number 2? And a lot of times when you try to move somebody up, it just doesn't work that way. For example, when Caleb Evans is healthy, he was a good number 3 DB. Well, trying to make him a number 2 just doesn't work. It reminds me of Wally Zerbiak with the Timberwolves. When he was expected to be Kevin Garnett's number 2, it didn't work very well. But when they got Spreewell and Cassell, and now Wally's the number 4 option, he excelled at that because everybody else was guarding the other 3. Shout out Sarah in the building. What's going on, Sarah? Good to see you as well. Akers and Addison needs to fumble the ball so everybody on the offense will
and Ty Chandler.
Well, yeah, Ty Chandler.
He hasn't fumbled either, right?
Once we complete the cycle, we won't fumble it. Well, maybe. Who knows?
Give everybody a shot.
Yeah.
Who else didn't fumble?
Powell's
fumbled.
TJ,
Powell's fumbled.
JJ. Yeah, Addison.
We didn't even put N'Keal Harry in there to fumble.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Oh, Johnny first down Munt needs to fumble.
Yeah, there you go.
How about that?
I like this by Mateo. I like
just
this by Mateo.
TJ just drops a pass, gets hurt. Boom, Johnny Munn in there, first down.
Yeah.
I got pretty excited when that happened. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, that's the best third tight end in football.
Okay. I like Mateo's comment that KJ is Jarius Wright, but given a chance. Yeah. Again, Jarius Wright was a great third receiver.
My God, all that guy did was catch first down.
Yes. But if you tried to make him a number 2 wide receiver, you would have been sorely disappointed. And I think that's a very good comp. I think that's
they go and built the practice facility, right? And the Vikings media go up to him and they interview him while he's in the lobby or whatever section of the place he was. Oh man, this is great. I can't wait to be here. And then we cut him. I'm like, oh shit. We didn't trade him, did we? We cut him.
No, we just cut him. Right.
Yeah, they're interviewing him, talking about how great this place is. I can't wait to be a part of this. And
yeah. They signed him to a contract the year before. And again, we don't need to go down this road, but they cut him in order to sign both Kirk Cousins and Sheldon Richardson. That was the first sacrifice, bringing those 2 guys in. Again, I'm not saying anything else about it. I'm just saying that. And they had just given Jarius Wright a new contract. And I'm like, really? Well, the heck was the point of that? Anyway, I agree with T-Bass's comment here about Addison and whether he can overcome, because there have been a couple times he's got knocked down. If I'm KOC, I put Addison in motion on almost every play so that he can get a free release. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a dig on him, is that him off the ball and stuff. I just thought, you know what? I just watched a short on Pickens talking about him and Addison about like, a dream is like you play with each other in the pros, and I'm like, Yeah, he was talking about, hey, Addison, I expect him to run a 4.3, 4.29.
Mhm.
And thank God he didn't, right? Thank God he didn't.
No,
Because
there's
he's
that.
saying, and he was saying that, hey, he runs this fast and he does it when he runs his routes. He doesn't he just doesn't run fast. He runs his routes fast too.
Mhm.
And he's special. I think he is, man.
Oh,
And
I remember
for me,
this. Yeah.
the hands.
Yeah.
He has better hands than I expected,
Right.
which is crazy.
Well, remember when we had Luke Braun on and he was just like, his route running is insane because he doesn't slow down when he's making his
Right.
cuts.
And JJ doesn't either, and that's what makes him
Right.
special. He has that
Right.
long. He makes a cut, but he has these long strides that he
Mhm.
doesn't. He picks up speed. He gains separation on his break because he doesn't chop. He doesn't slow down, and that's what I think keep Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison together. And this is what people probably, because he reminds me so much of Diggs too, that I'm like, someone said today to me on Twitter that it would have been Justin Jefferson, Diggs would have been great together. Well, we got Justin Jefferson because we got rid of Diggs.
Well, did we, or was that
it was the exact pick?
Was it?
That was the pick we got. I mean, there's a possibility he falls, or we trade up and
No.
him.
I'm saying we had 2 first-round picks. We had ours and we had Buffalo's. I'm saying, did we use our pick or Buffalo's pick to get Justin Jefferson? That's what I'm asking. That's what
I think it was the Buffalo pick.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I like Tim's comment here. New virus called fumbleitis. You ain't lying. You are not lying, Tim. Shout out to Yogi in the building. What's going on, Yogi? Anthony, I totally agree. Besides finding the quarterback, we need to focus on D-line and address the trenches. Yeah, it should be quarterback, offensive line, and defensive line. But I would actually focus on D-line first and get an offensive lineman second, because offensive linemen have a tendency to need at least 1 year to marinate, whereas defensive linemen don't necessarily. Again, the statute of limitations on me giving excuses for Ed Ingram has expired. But there is a point to be made that if he didn't get shoved out there right away last year and, he took a red shirt year, he might have developed a little bit better. I don't know that for sure, but I could see that.
I got to look at this last game. If he made a jump up or if he played cleanly, I might give him a couple more games. Again, he might get back on my good side, but I haven't looked at this last game. I've watched every play of Ed Ingram this year, and I have a lot of complaints. I have not seen this game, so I will shut up about it until I do.
No, and this gets back to Yannick is not
overall.
I agree.
Just one point. Overall, though, our offensive line's gotten better. Like, I've gotten what I wanted, right? I've gotten my decent defense, like not terrible defense. Like, give me some average shit, and then give me a average line. It's actually playing, I think, a little above average. And then we get the freaking negative 10 turnovers. I'm like, God, for heaven's sake, give me, don't giveth and then taketh away. It's like, Jesus. I finally get what I want, and we don't. And we get a number 2 receiver too. It's like,
here it is. Here we are. I agree, Drop Shot. They're a juggernaut. Absolutely. Can we just lock the doors at US Bank?
What were you saying about here we go? Here we go. What was that about?
I'm trying to remember which one it was. Oh, it was.
Remember, this is going on a podcast, so reading the questions is good.
Well, you just cut them out like I do on mine. Shout out Vikings Uncensored in the building. If we lose to the Bears, it's over, Johnny. Yes, I would totally agree. Oh, yeah. Where Mick says he would literally take a UDFA. I mean, come on, dude. Come on. We can get
2058.
more.
Mike Longfellow. That's a long time, Longfellow.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get embarrassed on national TV. We might not have a choice. Evans has played decently. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's absolutely what I was saying, Rhino. Let's see what else we got. It would be great if they would flex us out of that 49ers game. No, you ain't lying, Dave. You ain't lying. But having said that, it just kind of is what it is. I like this one from Tim. The Williams wall. Don't we all miss that one? You are absolutely correct. Shout out Kofi in the building. On the positive side, I think Addison will take off. Kirk and him are going to build chemistry. Yeah, again, you're going to have to figure out how you're going to survive at least 4 weeks without Justin Jefferson. So the debate about Addison versus Osborne is a moot point for the next 4 weeks. But after that, or whenever JJ does get back, I'm sorry, it needs to be Addison. It needs to be Addison as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, this is where breakout players happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they get their opportunity, they shine. Moving forward, this is who we're going with. None of this, you know, hey, he's had more time in, he needs to be the starter. I hate that crap mentality. I mean, how could you give Ed Ingram the job and then not give Jordan Addison the job? You know what I'm saying? There's
because they didn't have any good guards.
They had Reed.
I think the difference between
you liked Reed, didn't you?
And then I saw him play. I thought he'd be better than he was.
Well, before the season, though, right? You thought Reed was going to win the job. So did I.
We did.
And he you know, he had to play center, right? And they had missed, and he didn't play well. The next game, though, he played a lot better. The next game, but again, he's playing out of position. How do you give you got to give this guy a guard? You bring him in to be your starting right guard, and then what do? You put him at center, and if you're the third center,
which gets me back to again. I know they're looking better this year, and it's starting to come together, but they were playing so damn many rounds of musical chairs.
Now, for heaven's sake.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But I like the big center. I love the big center.
Yeah. The big round bellies.
Burke was a big center.
Yeah.
And then we get these little tiny guys like Sullivan.
Or Bradbury. Shout out Lemmy in the building. What's going on?
He's at least a little bigger than Sullivan, I think.
Well, there's that. If I'm filling in for Kwesi, first off, JJ, you're done. No, first off, you figure out why JJ ain't signed his extension, and you get that done. Then you tell him, all right, you're done for the year. We're 1-4. And the guys that we mentioned, Daniil Hunter, Harry, KJ, where do you guys want to go? You know, and let's see what Hall got. Well, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but the likelihood of that happening is very, very small. I'll just say that the Wills would not go for that. I seriously doubt the Wills would even go for Kwesi could go to the Wilfs and say Atlanta's going to give us 2 first-round picks for Cousins, and Cousins has agreed because he's also going to get a contract extension, and they would probably say no to that. And Kwesi would be like,
I disagree. I think there's.
You finally think the Wills would finally do that? Rick Spielman had something for. Rick Spielman had something for Kirk in 2020, and the Wills said no. We want to keep pushing, and like we said earlier, they went 1-5 and then went 6-4 to miss the playoffs.
Now he's 36. You know, 35,
well, okay,
36,
yeah, that's a good point.
And now he's in the dead last year of his contract.
Well, that's a point. I'll give you that. I was being facetious when I said 2 first-round picks, because I don't think you can get more than a second. But who the heck knows? I'll say, I'm just saying that if Kwesi convinced the Wills to do it, I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised.
You don't get 2 first midseason with one year under contract.
Let's just say 1 and a 3 for discussion purposes. But
yeah, even if it's just a 1, you know, it's like pretty reasonable. I think at this point, you don't have him for next year.
Mm-hmm.
And how about no comments when I again talk about taking a 1 for Kirk? I talked about it in the off season. I talk about it right now. I never hear about Dave. Oh my God, you're wanting to trade Kirk Cousins. No, man.
I think some people might have had heart attacks. People probably had heart attacks for hearing you say that.
Dude, I bring up all the situations, man. Just they don't want to hear them. Nobody wants to hear them. Let's go. If we're out of it and we didn't extend him. We didn't extend him in the offseason. So, I mean, we made our own bed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't foresee it happening. I still in the camp. If we don't get a Caleb Williams that could start right away, then I'm worried about a guy like we're finding out with Bryce Young, and maybe would have been a little more seasoned if he doesn't start right away.
Right.
But you know, someone said 2 out of 3 quarterbacks are playing good right now. Well, not really. It's 2 out of 10 over the last 2 years, right? 2 out of the top 5 picks this year, the top 5 picks last year. That's 2 out of 10 guys that are playing good, or that you really like. And I guess Sam Howell. I guess someone's saying, he was leading the league in passing because he had an extra day. But I had a buddy tell me he's playing really good. Have you looked at that, Sam Howell?
No, I haven't. I'll be honest with you.
There was talk about, I had looked at him going into the draft about being like a late guy that we could go get. Right. He looked like a passer. He looked like he was mature. I thought about him, but yeah, it's, was it Carolina? It was Carolina, right? Because I remember him playing with Ty Chandler. I
think so, but don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it.
It's called Carolina.
I will say this, to whose point was it? I just had it a minute ago.
We're comparing it to KJ and Jordan Addison. I felt Jordan Addison beat out KJ.
Right.
I felt Jordan Addison beat out KJ in the offseason. That's that's why I'm making that comparison.
That being said, I love what Rhino says. If Ingram beats you out there so much, I can co-sign that. I'll co-sign that. All right, Kofi says this. On a serious note, I believe there's something wrong with TJ. The drop-off from last year to this year is now just huge. Dude must not be 100%. Just my assumption watching him is depressing. I will say that maybe sitting out the first part of training camp, which, again, I'm not begrudging him that. I'm not begrudging any player getting paid what their value is. But still, having said that, yeah, maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. I'm not in the building. I'd love to know.
What underestimate his hands is what I'm thinking.
He had great hands last year.
I don't know.
When did TJ drop a ball last year? I don't remember any drops.
I would have to go look. But I remember all the Lions fans were telling us.
Right.
All the Lions fans were laughing at us for taking him, and I don't know why. And now we may know why. I don't know. But I felt really good about going into this year. I was like, hey, we resign him. I felt it was a fair deal. I felt it was team friendly, considering we could get out of it, and that it really average value. It wasn't the top. It was actually kind of second if you think about it.
Right.
I thought, good idea. And then next year, there's going to be more and more people getting paid more. I thought, great. But come on. The fumble, the bobbles, come on. I agree.
Rough. Thank you, Mateo, for the crack research there. Yes, we could have got a first and a third in 2020 after our bye week, after 6 games. And again, the Wilf said, no, we don't do that. Who's going to play? Okay, great. So you win 7-9 and miss the playoffs anyway. But Rhino says Kirk won't be back. Rap says watch some Caleb videos. That'll get you ready to release him. Come on.
I have watched Caleb videos. I have said he's the number 1 dude. I have said he's the guy you would start right away. I don't know about the other guys. I mean, we got Shakur Sanders beating a 1-3 team, going 1-4, showing his diamond-studded watch. They win by 3 points, and his dad's saying they're played like hot garbage, and he's celebrating by showing his diamond watch in a field. Yeah, I'm like, do I want that guy? I don't know. Is he ready to play in the NFL?
He needs to get his head on straight. I'll definitely give you that.
I think I'm glad you feel the same way about it.
On that guy, yes. So
you're beating a 1-3 team, and you're getting TikToks done about you, about showing your diamond watch.
He's got a lot of talent.
Your dad's saying you guys played like hot garbage. I'm like, come on.
He's got a lot of talent, but no, he doesn't have the right mindset. Not just yet, but he's a young dude. Shout out Lamont in the building.
I get
What's
it.
going on?
He's in college yet, but I also seen videos of him calling other players trash as they're walking off the field after a loss. I know they're talking shit to him too, but you're the CEO of the team. You know what I'm saying? Can he make that change? Can I trust in him to make that change? And I don't know, because you get Baker came in with the same kind of crap at it, like mentality. I think he made the switch. I feel like players like playing with him, but then you got, then there's other players that came in that weren't able to make that transition.
For example,
who?
Johnny Manziel.
That I was searching for the name.
Yeah. I could see the hamster spinning, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was Johnny Manziel. Was exactly what I wanted to say.
Again, shout out Lamont. What's good? Are we doing all right? Shout out Chris Davis watching on the Facebook page. No, we didn't say he would at this point. I'm saying that if that was offered I still don't know if the Wilfs would take it because, as Mateo said, we got offered a first and a third 3 years ago and they didn't take it. So I'm not saying that we going to, but everybody shout out Chris. I believe this is the first time in the building for Chris.
You're wanting to win a Super Bowl and your quarterback is down. That, and you got Kirk, top 2-3 in touchdowns and yards. A team giving up a first for that is out of the possibility. I think that's plenty in the possibility.
I would say
I don't think it was at the beginning of the season.
Right. I would say
because
it's
people
unlikely.
still have hope, right?
I would say it's unlikely. But I agree with Rhino here. Williams and May start week 1. The rest of them take some time. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's why they're 1-2 in my mind. Frozen North is in
what
the building.
Did he say Penix or?
So what he said was Williams and May week 1 starters. The rest would be maybe a couple hours would start. Oh no, the rest might take a little time, but guys like Ewers and Penix might
start right away.
Maybe. But again, that's the thing. There's the top tier is those 2 guys, and the next tier is the next, here.
I know there's people that really like Ewers.
I don't know enough about him. I really don't. I haven't had enough time to devote to watching college football as I used to.
I'm gonna probably spend a little more time now. I can tell you that.
Shout out Eric in the building. What's going on, Eric? Everybody say hello to Eric. I believe this is the first time we've seen Eric in the building. So what's going on? Thanks so much.
Let me do this real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. Let me get you in there. So guys, membership levels. I only have 1 now, so ignore the $4.99. But if you do the membership, I'm going to have a draft board and I'm going to have all sorts of videos of all the players, like top 300, 400 people. So it'll have a name. It'll have the name of the player. It'll have, I'm going to add their college stats at the end of the season. But then I'm also, as I'm building this, I'm actually putting the videos of highlights, maybe the QB school dude doing a breakdown on their games, maybe several of their games. So that kind of stuff, all you would have to do is email me, and then I would put your email address on that Google sheet, and then you'll have access to it. You're going to have videos of 300, 400 players before the draft if you want to be a member. So
absolutely. Shout out to Evil, to Hope in the building, and he's in rare form. He's usually.
And honestly, I want to put him in timeout. I go on another chat and he says a lie about me. Come on,
what'd
man!
he say?
Don't lie about me.
What'd he say?
He said I'm and I know you're gonna back him on this. He says David announced that he was a Kirk fan and not a Viking fan.
Okay. I don't know why you mad at him for that.
Why?
I'm just playing.
Yeah. So, hey, telling lies is not a good thing to be able to hope. You're in timeout.
You're
in timeout.
Cancel Christmas. That's
well, he's got the controls, so he's probably gonna put you up more.
Nah, can't do that. He's got to put another one in. Yeah, him missing preseason and not working. I totally agree, sir. I totally agree.
What missed preseason?
JJ says
I went way too fast. Remember, it's a podcast too, so we got to read the question.
Oh, okay. JJ Vike says Sam Howell is mid. No, I totally agree. Nobody besides Jefferson and Addison can be relied on to catch the ball. Yeah, pretty much. I would totally agree. Rhino.
Naylor. Give me some Naylor.
Yeah, give me some
Naylor.
TJ could have vertigo. He has taken some pretty big hits in his career that could be affecting him.
That's a possibility.
I guess, but
I've experienced vertigo, and
yeah,
you want to just puke on every play. So yeah, it's bad.
Shout out to Ryan B in the building. What's going on, Ryan? Everybody shout out Ryan. I think this is his first time here as well. Well, let's hit a reset because we are already 10 minutes, 12 minutes over on time. And by the way, Dave and Rap will be on Purple and Skull Media starting at 8:00 Central Time. So with 40 people in our chat right now, I want to see y'all on Vikings, Purple and Gold Media. But in all seriousness, everybody shout out Ryan for the first time. Let's see here. Can we win enough games to make it to the playoffs if Justin is healthy and Addison is established? Look out. I don't think so. Dave does. So we're
I'm sorry.
split.
Did I say that?
You've been saying that. You've been saying we can still get to 10 wins.
I talk about the path of the playoffs.
Which is
Do I say
you
that
saying
I think,
that you think it's
no,
possible.
I've said it's highly unlikely.
Okay.
I said if we're 3-5, that last part of that schedule, we'd have to go 7-2, right? And that means beating the Lions at least once, and only losing one other game, and that's going to be tough. But no, I don't say we're going to make the playoffs. I do say, hey, we talk about the playoffs here and how we get there on this channel. That's what I say in my show. So again, come on.
Now that's been
Is
clarified.
that fair? Is that fair? I talk about the playoffs.
Yeah, of course
I'm not saying they're a lock. Up until the last game, up until Justin Jefferson getting hurt, I was saying 10-7's my lid, my ceiling.
So you thought it was possible. So again, his question was, can we win enough games? Well, we could.
David says that we can. Well, I guess we can potentially.
And I say, look at the evidence, and what about what we have shown, what they have shown us so far, leads you to think we can get to 10 wins. I'm just saying, the only
one
victory
score games, 10 turnovers.
You got one victory against the
turnovers.
You got one victory against the 0 for Carolina Panthers, who the Detroit Lions just destroyed. I'm just saying.
I mean, played really good against the Eagles, so
really good. Okay, yeah, we played really good against the two teams that won.
I get it. You say what you asked the question, what evidence you seen? I'm like, we've played pretty tough against.
They still losses. If they had split those, I would agree with you. If they had gotten one of them, I would more agree with you that there was.
I mean, I agree with you that the evidence shows that we lost, but I'm just saying, what evidence on the other side of it? You can play devil's advocate. And
no, that's fine. No, that's fine.
Called purple Kool-Aid Homer, but that would be the pathway. Is the only way is to at worst get to 3-4, and then hopefully you turn the shit around. Justin Jefferson is healthy. And then you have to play almost spotless ball and beat the Lions. And the thing is, the Lions might not be needing to win the last game of the year, right? So that might be the time we beat them. Packers aren't very good. The Saints are playing better. Denver sucks. Cincinnati's not the greatest right now. It's like, you got Raiders aren't that great. You got games you can win.
Hey, the Raiders beat the Packers, so by definition, they're good.
Yeah. So both of them are not that good. But the Saints are probably another team that's kind of stepping up. But yeah, I mean, if we had Justin Jefferson eliminate turnovers, if we're 3-5, yes, we would have a decent shot of making the playoffs. But Justin Jefferson is hurt, and we're still turning the ball over. So then, it's a
Anthony,
situation.
to your question, can the Wills hurry up and give the green light to Kwesi? I don't know. We don't know whose side is not saying yes. It could be Jefferson's side every bit as much as it could be the Viking side. So what's the holdup? We don't know. What else need to prove? I don't think it's about proving.
I think it's dropping the ball.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
Again, he's dropped a couple passes and had one fumble.
No, I'm talking about Kwesi dropping the ball.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You think I'm bitching about Justin Jefferson?
That's why I was looking at you crazy. That's why I was looking at you like, what?
I think Kwesi is dropping the ball.
Again, we don't know. I've heard stuff.
Well, I think he dropped the ball before the season. Now he can't really do anything about it. Now we have a losing team. And we got a Justin Jefferson with a huge negotiating chip now. You guys are losing. To keep me here, you need to do this. So, isn't that leverage?
To a certain extent. I think the conversation went something like this. I think Justin was probably offered close to what he wants, but not quite. And I think there's two schools of thought. So I will
price go up or down.
Say what?
Price go up or down?
Oh, for next year? Yeah, price go. Of course it goes up. Goes up.
Drop the ball. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, I get that. But, one school of thought is he wants to move on from Kirk, and another school of thought is he wants Kirk to stay. And if I'm Kwesi, now again, you'll say I'm biased, but I will take my bias out for this statement here. Okay. if I'm Quasi and he says, I want to bring Kirk back, I would say to him, you do realize that if I give you your money after giving TJ his money and I bring back Kirk, we cannot field a team around you guys because Kirk would be taking 50, Justin would be taking 25 to 30, and TJ's taking what, 15? No, 17. I mean, just add those numbers up. That's 90 some million between 3 players. So, or the other school of thought is that he wants to move on, but the Wolves don't want to move on. So who knows? We're not in those rooms. So we don't know who's holding it up. Sorry,
that ship has passed for me. I'm like, it's highly unlikely Cousins is coming back. Right. My thought was 2024, they didn't get it done. So I'm like, it's highly unlikely he's coming back, especially after they gave so much money to TJ. So, yeah, I mean, so for me, it's like, hey, you could have locked up Justin while we had like ambitions of going to the Super Bowl. Like we have ambitions of going to the Super Bowl, right? That's what they were thinking. And now we don't. So there went that opportunity to get him like he was happy.
Right.
That's where I'm saying the leverage is now gone.
No, I can see what you're saying. And yes, as I said earlier, shout out to Two Evil to Hope for the $5 super chat. What's going on? Thank you, appreciate that.
You're out of the cellar. I don't know if he gave that to you in your channel or mine, but
I don't know either. But
but same.
It doesn't say which one. But I digress. Honestly, either we trade everything for Caleb or stay put and to pick a quarterback later. This quarterback will have potential starters. I hate Sanders. I agree. I don't think we trade everything, though. I think that if this season continues to go into the toilet, that Quasi will convince the Wolves, hey, we need to. Again, I've given this analogy. It's like running a business, and you got assets and liabilities. And once your assets depreciate to a certain point, you either got to decide to scrap it and get nothing in return to use out the entire lifespan, or you sell a year or two early and get some assets in return to help with whatever business you're running. And I think Quasi wants to. I think Quasi absolutely wants to trade these guys on the last year of their deals. But again, you got to convince your bosses that it's a good deal.
And just a fair point that I think you potentially would agree with. When you get a pick back in return, it's probably you might get a higher pick if it's a year out, like if it's a farther out, like if it's 2025. So you may not get a first round. Let's say the Kirk situation, you may not get a first for 2024, but you potentially could get one for 2025, right?
Right.
The farther out that pick, the more likely you'd get a higher pick. And
so yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying.
And that's what I'm saying. He might not take 2024 picks for these players. He might get 2025 picks. We've already seen us do that with a 2026 pick.
Right. So, well, again, it's
lower.
What are we talking about there? But
yeah, it's
aside,
lower.
I hear what you're saying.
We've done that. We've seen teams do that. So that's some thought, guys. If we're going to get rid of a guy like a Danielle Hunter, we may not get a high pick for him at 2024, but 2025, and that still gives you the ammunition to go up and get a quarterback.
Right. No, basically, I'll use it as an example.
You probably want the Panthers to win more games too, by the way. I don't want the Bears having the top 2 picks in the draft.
Right. Absolutely. You want the Bears and the Panthers to win some more games. Rhino, the Wolves have a primal fear. Yeah, I know. And it drives me crazy because he should know by now that we are
even when we're bad, we sell out. If I'm not mistaken,
exactly.
I don't honestly. I think that's we've been bad with the Wolves, and they sold out. I don't know.
See, here's what I'm confused about, Tim. He's worth 2 first round. I don't think he is, but I would take 2 if I could get it, or I'd take a first and a third.
I think the level of play probably is. The age is not.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. Is he's 35, he'll be 36 before the start of the season, but I'm keeping him and finding a way to get dripping. I mean, maybe, but we'll see. JD's
and if you're going to get a guy mid-season, you're probably going to get a guy. You would want a guy with a hell of a good work ethic that can study a playbook,
right?
And a guy who's used to it too, like a different playbook every year, well, different coordinator every year. So a guy that has that experience might be a little more valuable to you.
I agree with Rhino. I want a can't miss guy. I totally agree.
Is there a can't miss guy? You know, I'm
I
saying
think there's
Caleb
two.
Williams, right? Or
I think two.
Derek May, whatever. But
Drake, yeah.
Drake May. But yeah, if the player goes to the Bears, is he a can't miss guy?
Well,
is the player that goes to Cleveland, is he
right.
a can't miss guy?
I
Or
get what
the
you're
Jets?
saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
I almost want, if we don't get Caleb Williams, I almost want the Bears to get him. So that he ends up being terrible.
He would break the curse. He would
break the yeah, that's the thing that would happen. You go to the Packers.
I don't know enough about JJ out of Michigan, so
Jordan loving that
MJ is, and it's not Michael Jordan. Shout out Gary in the building for the $4.99 super chat. Been miss you all. Hey, we miss you too.
Straight cash, homie.
There you go, straight cash. Hey, after the show tonight, you can get on Dave's channel for the drive that he had, and then you can get on my channel for Skull for Days. I'm
trying to go more.
Spicy.
Every day, as many days in the week as possible. It's just things have come up this past 2 weeks, and I haven't been able to do more than the Monday show. But by the way, I'm going to be doing the first round table for PSF, where we're going to be 4 dudes from each division. I'm going to have to hold my own against the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears.
Well, you still
on PSF on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central.
The Bears and Packers dudes don't have a whole lot on you. Again, the Lions guy should be able to just talk to all 3 of you. Like, all 3 of our teams right now are pretty garbage.
I'll be like, congratulations.
Yes, I know, right?
It's
trade Ingram for Dakota Dozier. That's a good one. Vikings fans are used
Clemens.
to
Let's get Clemens back.
Yeah, why don't we? Shout out Sports Haven in the building. All right, I want to get through these chats and shout out anybody else before you get up out of here, because you got 6 minutes before the start of the next show. You'd have to be very desperate. Well, yeah, at this point, yes. Hawkinson came in last year and made an yeah, that's what we were saying. Like, why is it he was better last year? I don't know. How about
3 tight end screens for -9 yards?
Yeah. Aside from that, shout out to How About No. Good to see you here. And reset. Hit them like buttons.
How about no, man? Hey, congratulations. You won this. Did you email me?
Oh, yeah,
yet?
That's right.
How about no? You won this, by the way.
He got the bobblehead. He was the winner.
MN Sports Podcast. Let me throw up that banner really quick. Damn it. Where is it? Let me get it really quick. Tickers. There we go. MN Sports Podcast at gmail.com. How about no? Make sure you've emailed me. I'll go look for the email. You won this. I need your address. It's 100th anniversary Adam Thielen bobblehead or Funko Pop.
Thanks, Zoe. Thank you. I appreciate it. Dave, don't put that bad juju. There's that.
What did I do?
I don't know.
I'm sure I said something.
I'll put it in the comments real quick as we.
Well, they haven't won a Super Bowl since I've been alive.
Well, they haven't won one, period. So,
well, have you weren't alive when they even went to one, right?
No.
When were you
79,
born?
79.
Oh yeah, so you haven't even
just
been
a couple
alive.
Years late. But regardless, I wouldn't have understood it anyway. Problem because he was playing to get paid. Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, I'm not trying to.
Oh, maybe because I said Clemens. Maybe that's what it was when I said
Clemens.
Oh,
yeah.
That is some bad juju.
Kirk to San Francisco is dead. Here's the deal. Here's what you do. If we're, and I'm joking, but here's what you do. When you play San Francisco, you do everything you can to knock Purdy out so that the Cousins can go to San Francisco. And then Shanahan's were like, hey, real quick, what's it going to cost me to get Kirk now that Purdy's down again? That's what you do. But I'm just kidding, y'all. I don't root for injuries. I'm just saying. I'll shoot you my address, Dave. Thanks, man. All right. Yeah, there you go.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you got it. And you're still eligible for the Justin Jefferson jersey. Oh, shit. We got to do that.
No, Sarah. What did
giveaway?
They say?
I got 14 entries into the contest. Let's do that really quick because we got to go.
I was just short of 2 years. Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys. Let me do this really quick.
Oh, hell no, Sarah. There you go, drop shot.
Here we go.
There you go.
All right, make sure you hashtag Skull right now. Hashtag Skull. You got 30 seconds. 29, 25, 20, 15. It's a quick 30. 10.
Yeah, I was about to say we're
5, 4. Hashtag
no, if
Skull.
you've already
real
done
quick.
it, you don't
hashtag
need to
Skull.
do it again. You only get one entry.
3,
yeah.
2, 1.
Here we go. While that's going on, I'm gonna put this up for Rhino here. Yeah, we said that earlier before you got here, Ryan. We took about 3 minutes.
Mary Fist.
Yay!
Chicken soup for the soul. I think that's
There you go.
It might be your first entry.
There you go.
All right. And I'm feeling saucy. I'm going to do this again. One more.
Okay.
All right.
It's
let's
your
go.
show on this,
It's Christmas.
on this part.
Everybody's getting 5. These are for 5. I'm taking a picture just so Vikings Uncensored.
Rhino. There you go.
There you go, Rhino. Let's get you a Justin Jefferson jersey.
I'm just saying. That's the only way it would happen. Having said all that, actually take us back to
time to go, man. I got 2 minutes.
All righty. Hit them like buttons, hit the subscribe buttons. Let's get this community growing. We appreciate every one of you for being in here. We still got 36 people in the building at the end of the show.
Awesome.
Actually,
Great job.
28 minutes over. But in all seriousness, we appreciate you guys so much. I know Ryan would
show,
say the same
guys. Thanks
thing,
for
Dave.
being in the chat.
All righty. Skull to the next episode. You guys have a good night. And I'll see you Thursday night around halftime.
And tomorrow, Wednesday.
GG tomorrow. You and GG.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, what time you going?
7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central.
There you go. Well, thank you
Have a good night,
again
guys.
for joining us. Good night.